Trip to the Moon from 1902. It was directed by George Méliès and was one of the most famous films he'd ever produced. And keep in mind that George Méliès has made over 500 films between 1896 and 1912. He's truly a pioneer in cinema history, and this film is one of the many gems in his vast filmography. It's one of the first sci-fi movies ever, and it's definitely up there on my list of best sci-fi films ever. Anyway, let's talk about the plot now. There's not much to say about it. Basically what happens is a group of astronomers travel to the moon by being shot in a capsule from a giant cannon. Then they're captured by moon men, they escape, and then return to Earth. You can only imagine how revolutionary this film was when it first came out. It was definitely the most innovative film at the time for its outstanding special effects and whatnot. There's so many that I can't even count. The sets are amazing in themselves. The painted backdrops merge seamlessly with the constructed portions and props, creating locations with depth in worlds that seem too surreal to exist and have a long history. Like many of Méliès' films, A Trip to the Moon was sold in both black and white and colored versions. Now just think about this. In order to colorize a film back then, it had to be done by hand, frame by frame. That is crazy to think. Now keep in mind, there were 16 frames a second, and this film runs for over 10 minutes. There was only one hand-colored print known to survive. It was rediscovered in 1993 by the Filmoteca de Catalunya. Yeah, that's crazy. It was in a stage of being almost completely decomposed. However, there was a frame-by-frame restoration that was launched in 1999 and completed in 2010 at the Digital Technicolor Lab of Los Angeles. The restored version finally premiered at the 2011 Cannes Film Festival on May 11th in 2011, 18 years after the discovery and 109 years after its original release. It had a new soundtrack by the French band Air. Now, part of the ending of this film was long thought to be lost. However, in 2002, a complete print of this film was discovered, which included the ending sequence of the film. And the sequence was included and restored in full for the 2012 Blu-ray edition of this film. I highly recommend getting it if you can find it. My favorite moment in the film is when they land on the moon, inside of its eye. This moment quickly became one of the most iconic images in film history, and I love how the moon's face actually moves. It's wicked funny. So overall, it's one of the greatest films of all time, and I'm not exaggerating on that. It really is an enjoyable and entertaining film, full of imagination and life. It's like the perfect sci-fi film that satisfies in every area. So, thank you, George Méliès, for the wonderful work you've made for us. It was definitely worth it.